Hello, U.S. History students. I will be reading the U.S. History Week 3 quiz. The questions along with the answer options in this quiz, there are a total of 10 questions with a total point value of 21. Question 1. The Articles of Confederation was a loose political agreement between the newly formed states after they declared independence from England. It was used during the war and provided enough organization to help the colonists win their independence. Why was the Articles of Confederation eventually replaced by the Constitution? A. The British believed the Articles created an unfair trade relationship with them and refused to trade with the U.S. unless it was replaced. B. The Articles was too weak because it did not have the power to tax, could not settle state disputes, and had a difficult process for approving laws or changing the articles. C. The Articles were not a document recognized by the rest of the international community. D. The Articles violated the Declaration of Independence and were removed during the Second American Revolution. What did the Great Compromise or Connecticut Compromise do in our Constitution? A. Create the Supreme Court. B. Allowed for a two-house Congress, one based on 2 delegates from each state, the other number of delegates based on population from each state. C. Created the Electoral College for presidential elections. D. Allowed for states to determine their borders between other states. Question 3. What did the Three-Fifths Compromise achieve? It specified the number of states necessary for ratification of an amendment. It designated how women and children were to be counted for representation and taxation. It determined how enslaved people were to be counted for representation and taxation. Or the last option, it required the cabinet to seek congressional approval before sending troops to war. Question number 4. Who would make the following statement? The Constitution will protect the American people because it includes a system of checks and balances. Would this be an A, a Federalist, B, an Anti-Federalist, C, a Loyalist, or D, a Republican? Question 5. Which is a true statement about the U.S. Constitution? A, it was created so that it could not be revised as the country changed. B, it named George Washington as the first president of the United States. C, it is longest-lived written plan for representative government in history. Or D, it declared that America was independent from England. Question 6. The executive, legislature, and the judicial branches of our federal government exist to keep secrets from one another in the interest of national security, create separation of powers and prevent one branch from having too much power. C, increase the size of government so more people can be involved, or D, prevent the formation of political parties. Question number 7. Please match the branch of government with its correct description. The branches are legislative, executive, and judicial. The description of each branch is the president is the head of this branch. It is also made up of independent government agencies. Their main responsibility is to enforce laws. The second branch described is the branch formed by courts. It is made up of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals and district federal courts. Or the last one, this branch is formed by Congress, which is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and their main responsibility is to create laws. Question number 8. What is the definition of the phrase checks and balances? A, a system that gives more power to the executive branch. B, a system that gives the states more power than the federal government. C, a system that allows the states to check the laws passed by federal government. Or D, a system under which each of the 3 branches of government oversees the powers of the other 2 branches and they limit each other. Question 9. Why is the Constitution considered a living document? A, it allows for checks and balances. B, the president has the ability to veto changes. C, it continues to change whenever amendments are added to it. And D, courts can provide judicial review. The last question, question 10. Why were the Bill of Rights added to the Constitution? A, to strengthen the central government. B, to prevent the government from taking away personal rights. C, to remedy the weakness of the Articles of Confederation, and D, to take and give more power to the states. To give more power to the states, that should say. Good luck on your quiz. Let your teacher know if you have any questions, and be sure to click Submit Quiz when you get to the end.